The dream sold to us goes something like this: aim for the stars, hustle harder, and eventually you'll reach success. We internalize these messages from childhood, carrying them into adulthood like badges of honor. The more ambitious your goals, the more impressive you appear to others. At least that's what we believe. I once thought this way too. My goals stretched endlessly into the future. Each accomplishment merely became a stepping stone to the next target. My happiness constantly deferred to some imaginary finish line that kept moving further away. This relentless pursuit left me exhausted, anxious, and oddly enough stuck. The harder I pushed, the less progress I made. My ambition had become a cage rather than wings. The breaking point came during a particularly brutal work week. After missing my daughter's school play to finish a project, I found myself staring at my reflection, wondering when making it would finally allow me to live. The person looking back appeared successful by all external metrics, yet felt hollow inside. This moment revealed a profound truth. My ambition had morphed from a means to an end into an identity. I needed to want everything to feel worthy of anything. Psychologist William James once noted that the art of being wise is knowing what to overlook. His century-old insight cuts through our modern obsession with maximizing every aspect of life. What if wanting less actually gets us further? Consider the ancient Stoics. Seneca wrote about the wealth of self-restraint, finding richness not in endless acquisition but in limiting desires. This counterintuitive approach didn't mean abandoning goals. Rather, it meant aligning them with deeper values instead of social expectations. Mark Manson captures this tension perfectly in The Subtle Art of Not Giving a FCK, when he writes about the value of selective caring. The problem isn't having ambitions but being owned by them. This recognition launched me into an uncomfortable question: what would I pursue if nobody was watching? If status, praise, and external validation disappeared tomorrow, what would still matter? The answer surprised me. My genuine desires were simpler, fewer, and more meaningful than the sprawling list I'd been chasing. Many ambitions weren't mine at all. They belonged to parents, peers, and cultural scripts I'd internalized without questioning. Research backs this insight. Psychologist Sonia Lyubomirsky found that happiness comes less from achieving goals than from engaging in meaningful processes. The joy exists in the journey, not just the destination. Adrienne Rich describes this realization as diving into the wreck, confronting our authentic selves beneath layers of social conditioning. This dive requires courage. We risk discovering that what we want differs drastically from what we thought we should want. Japanese consultant Marie Kondo built an empire around asking what sparks joy when decluttering homes. The same principle applies to ambitions. Which goals genuinely energize you? Which ones feel like obligations? When I applied this filter, my ambition list shrank dramatically. The remaining goals felt different, lighter yet more compelling. I pursued them not from anxiety but from genuine interest. Author Oliver Burkeman describes this paradox in 4,000 Weeks. With limited time alive, unlimited ambition becomes mathematically impossible. Choosing fewer objectives isn't settling, it's strategic. My work didn't suffer from this shift. Unexpectedly, it improved. By focusing on fewer, more meaningful projects, my creativity and effectiveness increased. I stopped spreading myself thin across performative achievements. The freedom came gradually. I declined opportunities that once would have seemed irresistible. I spoke more honestly about my limitations. I developed comfort with phrases like enough and not for me. People noticed. Some questioned whether I'd lost my drive. Others seemed relieved, as if my permission to want less granted them the same liberty. The philosopher Alan Watts compares our approach to life as music. We don't listen to music solely to reach the final note. We enjoy each measure. Yet in life, we rush through moments fixated on future achievements. This insight doesn't mean abandoning ambition entirely. Goals provide direction. The shift happens when we see them as tools rather than mandates. They serve us, not the reverse. Psychologist Viktor Frankl argued that meaning comes not from achievement but from connection to values beyond ourselves. But ambitions align with these deeper values. They energize rather than deplete. The real paradox emerges. By wanting less, you often get more of what truly matters. Energy previously scattered across countless pursuits concentrates on fewer, more significant ones. The math of attention works in your favor. Your ambitions might look different after this recalibration. They might appear modest to status-focused observers. They might not translate well to social media highlights. Yet they'll possess something more valuable: authenticity. This path requires regular maintenance. Old conditioning returns. New social pressures emerge. The culture of more continues its persistent whisper. The practice becomes asking regularly, does this goal serve my life, or am I serving it? The answer guides the next step. The ambitious life where soul promises freedom through achievement. The reality often delivers the opposite, constrained through endless pursuit. True freedom might come from wanting less but wanting it more authentically. What would you do differently if you needed less external validation? What ambitions would remain if the audience disappeared? The answers might reveal the path not just to achievement but to something rarer: contentment alongside it.